Now we're back. What's going to happen on this lit up floor?
I feel like it's going to go up or down.
That looks like a fucking sphincter.
And we're going up.
Going into the sphincter.
So while you guys were away, while we were away, we did a small break there. But, total off-topic thing. Riylo was browsing the internet.
Trying to look for fucking news topics.
Porn. But he came across video guides.
You said it. That was the word I said earlier, and I was like, I'm gonna wait till he says it. You put a T in across.
Came across. Yeah, I do. So he came across to video games. And it got us on the topic of how annoying video guides are. I don't know about you guys. When I go on looking for guides to a game, like if I'm looking for a bit of information or something, I just want it in text form.
Yep.
Quick. I can find what I'm looking for, digest it quickly, go on with the rest of my life.
And I told him that this is something that I've experienced a lot, and a lot of you guys probably have as well if you guys have been around on my streams. But when I'm looking up how to do something, I need a text guide because I don't want you guys. I don't want to play someone else's video during my stream. That's bad. So I need to find these text form guides because the sound, no matter what, is going to go through.
So this is, are you guys ready for this tangential ride you're going to go on with me here? So, why do people do video guides is what I was kind of asking. Like, man, like, why is it always video guides? But, like, really, I think it's always video guides because sometimes it's streamers who are making the guides, right? And they already got all the video equipment and they're, like, maybe they're even just, like, cropping something from their stream, who knows. But I do think there are lots of times where people do video guides because it's easier and they're kind of lazy. And it's like, hey, why would I write this up when I could just speak? Because speaking goes so much quicker.
Writing a script does take a long time, and then you gotta edit, and then you gotta record and make sure you don't deviate from the script.
Well, and even if you're just writing a text guide, right? Like, you write the stuff down, but then you've got to go through it. You've got to make sure your spellings are correct. You've got to make sure it's organized in a coherent, sane fashion.
You gotta make sure you typed left when you meant left.
Right, exactly. Although,
right.
I mean, if you're saying right when you mean left, it's going to be just as confusing.
Or things like do and don't are important words to make sure you get right.
And
all
people,
that sort of stuff.
People are a lot more critical of writing than they are of speech. So, like, if you speak in a very casual manner, but you write in a very casual manner, like, you won't really get shit for speaking in a casual manner, but you will get shit for writing in a casual manner. But this brought me to another tangent. And I don't know if you guys have really experienced this, or if you've ever really thought about this.
Tangents?
Yes. We are going for a wild ride here.
They have experienced this with me. Easy.
So I don't know if you really thought about this, but the oh my god, that guy was holding a rocket launcher. The very act of writing is actually a thought process, which is why people, why writing is generally considered so important, like why you're always like have to do it in school and stuff. Like, why can't you just talk to your professor and tell them what you've learned? Why do you need to do a paper? Well, like, the reason they actually like you to write a lot, and although they might not even know this themselves, is that writing isn't just communication, it's also a thought process, and the very act of writing itself can even change the way you think about stuff. Because as you're writing, you're organizing your thoughts, a lot of times you're also exploring counterpoints and so on and so forth, and so
Doors open.
So it is in and of itself thinking, which brings me to the next tangent. You are a cyborg and you don't even realize it. So this
Not sponsored.
What's that?
Oh fuck!
Oh no!
Fucking gravity killed me. Go down in that hole. That was actually the exit.
Where you died?
Well, yeah. I died to the floor, though.
But this is actually something my wife kind of was going over in one of her classes when she was in school still for getting her engineering degree. And it was a class on like being or cybernetics and just kind of like philosophy of cybernetics and stuff like that. But not cybernetics in the idea of, adding machine parts to your body. It was more the idea of, integrating technology into just your everyday life and functioning.
This is where we came from.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm going the other way. And like the argument that the class and like the books that are like reading and stuff made was that people we're already cyborgs. Like we've been cyborgs for a very long time, because for most people, how they think even is influenced by the technology they use. But like it's not just influence, but like the fact that we use technology to help us think. They use technology in just about every facet of our lives, and it's writing was one of the examples they gave, because that is technically technology, right? I mean, just pen and paper is just the act of writing is technology. But because you actually will use it to think, it's just an example of being a cyborg. So there we go. You're a cyborg. You didn't know it. And we got there because of video guides. Goddamn video guides. Why don't they just write them?
We got there because I couldn't find anything on Kotaku worth talking about.
Oh,
I guess the mistake is on me for thinking that Kotaku was a news website.
I mean, that was a rocket.
I think that they're just...
So what if
we talk about video games, whatever the hell we want to talk about with video games, and the only news that was on there was the latest fucking goddamn eSports tournament nonsense. So, whatever.
I feel like Riylo does not like eSports tournaments.
I also don't like the fact that they call it eSports in the first place. They aren't sports.
What is the definition of a sport?
Oh, we can open up that one. That'll take a whole fucking episode.
I mean...
Not really, but sports, for me, they do require a high degree of physical acumen. It can't be anyone just sitting down in a chair.
So chess is not a sport?
Chess is not a sport, neither is fucking golf or NASCAR.
Whoa, wait.
Oh yeah, we're opening that shit
Wow. I would say...
those are not sports.
I mean, if you're going to go that route, I'm going to say baseball's not a sport.
Baseball is a sport.
No.
See,
if you can be a fat guy and be amazing at baseball, if you're going to say that golf can't be a sport, then baseball can't be a sport.
Baseball still requires a high degree of physical acumen. It just happens to be that, sure, larger guys can do it. Larger women can do it too.
When you say physical acumen, what do you mean, though?
Like, there has to be a large amount of physical training that goes into making you a very specialized...
Then golf is absolutely a sport by that dude. Because you cannot just go into golf, never done it, and be good at it.
You're making the same mistake that everyone who has ever had this argument with me makes. And that is taking the first sentence I say and thinking that that's it. That's all that my definition entails. No, it's not. Okay,
so besides a high level of training in physical skills, what else then does physical acumen mean?
Another, not the final, not 2 of 2, but another thing is you need to be able to directly impede the progress of the other person or team. That's why things like baseball, hockey, basketball, football, those are all sports, because you are directly you are trying to impede the other's progress. Whereas golf, NASCAR, all that sort of shit, in addition to not having, highly stringent physical requirements to make your body a machine, you are not directly impeding progress the way you are. NASCAR, you could argue, technically, kinda.
Okay,
but again, so that still doesn't meet the first one. But at the same time, at NASCAR, it's a race. Races to me are not sports.
Okay, that was what my next question actually is. By that definition, then would a 100-meter dash not be a sport?
Well, 100-meter dash, they kind of have that rule of you need to stay in your fucking lane. So it would have to go to the more long-distance stuff where everybody can be in whatever lane they want.
That makes it a sport?
Huh?
That makes it a sport?
No. Because at least in that way, there is the whole directly impeding your opponent's progress, because you can do that when you can share lanes. But, no, in my opinion, races are not sports.
So track and field, though, is not a sport then either to you?
Nope. No, nothing in track and field. Most things in the Olympics are not sports. They are races or other form or games or other forms of physical activity, but they're just not sports. But that doesn't make them any less awesome. To see someone who is really good at them showing you what it's like to be fucking amazing at something. And I think that's what people get really up in arms about, is just like, oh my god, this thing I love is not a sport according to you? You're wrong.
So far, though, I'm going to say this. With those two definitions, that you may have more, you said that it's not 2 of 2, but with those two, esports are still a sport.
Nope.
Because they both require physical acumen, you can directly impede your opponents.
You're like, as long as you have fingers and can operate a mouse, that's physical acumen. No. Dude, it takes, like, you have to train reaction times. You have to get good at precision. Like, I can't compete with, like, high level... You're still making the same mistake. You're like, okay, by those two, this thing. Don't finish your other things. But I'm stopping right fucking now
I said, using just those two... I know you have more, but just those two, it's still a sport. So what else is there that makes an esport not a sport? Because those two do not make esports not sports.
So we're supposed to go over there? I was on a fucking thing. I was talking about something, but you were fucking just... Ugh. Anything that is virtual is not a sport. You are not engaging in the activity. Your in-game avatar is. You are playing. That is called a game. Believe it or not. I know it's a stretch of the imagination.
Sports are also a game. But...
Stretch of the imagination. But video games are games.
So is baseball.
I mean, there's overlap. Fucking racing games. You can have competitions for that. They probably don't exist. But, that would be a race and a game at the same time, yeah.
I mean, the definition of game is not virtual, though.
No. I'm just saying there can be overlap.
But I don't know, man. That seems like a really weird definition there. To say, like, if there's any sort of like you said virtual, but virtual, like, I don't know what you mean by virtual. Usually virtual implies that it is somehow like a replacement for reality. But
the things that are actually engaging in the activity,
well, again, though,
representation of you, but not actually you. It's very easy to tell the difference between even something as simple as baseball and fucking Overwatch or Street Fighter.
Well, I mean, yeah, they are drastically different things, but
I don't feel like I have to define that one any further.
What, the virtual?
Yes. You're playing a fucking computer game. It's a game.
See,
it's a competitive game.
What I was going to say is that definition feels like you're just saying if you're playing a video game, you're not doing a sport, which is actually like reductive, right? Like that's not explaining why video games aren't sports. That's just
no.
That would actually be the original.
No.
The original definition of begging the question. But like, let me think on that for a second because I need to be able to say it clearly so that you understand what I'm trying to ask or what my point is. But, continue.
This is going to have to be a fucking part 2.
This is going to be a part 2.
The thing is, you keep attacking my fucking thing so goddamn quickly and not letting me finish that I can't get out the fucking things that I was going to say that probably would have just stopped the question from happening. Like, I just, video games are games, not sports. And then you just start launching on 3 different things.
I don't launch it. You have yet to actually, other than the virtual thing, which let me think on that one a bit more so I can actually, present a point.
So, like, an example is, like, Overwatch. What determines a win in Overwatch? Your character's holding a point. Or your character's killing, any first-person shooter. Everything in another team, all that sort of shit. It's the characters that are doing it. It is not you. Now, are you controlling them? Sure. But it's still not you. And so, there you get to the vast difference of what I'm saying are obviously sports against just what they call eSports. I think the only reason they're doing it is because they just haven't found a word with as few syllables to easily describe what it is that they're trying to say. So they'll just say eSports because, oh, it's 2 syllables. That's within the limit of 2 for the what the internet considers lazy enough to go ahead and leave alone until they find a 1-syllable one. Sitting across from someone else at a tabletop or playing any fucking tabletop game, not a sport. Fucking chess, Magic the Gathering, Risk, none of that shit's a sport either. They're games. There are so many different definitions. Games, races, competitions, all of these things exist. They fit into the different categories. But I think that the problem is that there are just way too many people who are insulted that something that they like is not called a sport, like it's some sort of a status. It's not. It's just defining using English terms. And that's why I feel like there's so much argument. That's why I feel like there's so much argument about this whole thing is people get insulted when something that they like is considered is called not a sport by someone else when we're also talking about the English language, which unfortunately is more opinion than ever. Please spawn on this elevator. I'm not calling that.
There we go.
There we go. But this episode has went way too fucking long already, so for now, we are done talking.